rebirths as a result of that attachment. When you see that the future outcome of such attachment is a bad rebirth, aren't you afraid? What use is attachment? Just as you do not grasp at bad rebirth, do not grasp at practices either. It is like an unwise person who buys a place that gives rise to suffering. Just like a wage earned by a worker, merit will come to resemble a payment. Therefore the wise do not do even meritorious actions motivated by attachment. When the wise do not want even the virtue that produces worldly existence, because of seeing it as a cause for the cycle of rebirths, how could they do demeritorious actions which are non-virtuous? They always avoid them. It is like the following analogy: when a dog ate *Rankata's food, *Rarigata accused a prince who was fasting nearby of having eaten it.
Rankata, a destitute beggar, found some badly cooked food and wrapped it in a stinking pus-stained rag. When he wasn't looking, a dog stole it. Not far away, a prince was fasting in the service of his deity. The beggar accused him of breaking his fast by stealing and eating the food. When the prince would not eat even his own well-prepared food, why would he have eaten food like that? Only childish people like cyclic existence. The wise who directly perceive dependent arising as lacking inherent existence see external and internal phenomena as like a collection of mechanical devices made of wood that look like men and women. Those who see phenomena as empty of inherent existence, yet appearing like illusory people, traverse cyclic existence and most clearly reach the excellent states of liberation and omniscience. It is like the mechanic who shamed a painter by means of a mechanical woman. The painter caused him suffering in return.
A painter was staying in the home of a master mechanic who, as a joke, sent a mechanical woman to him. Thinking that she was a maid who had been sent for him to enjoy and with whom he could do as he pleased, he took her hand only to find it was hard wood. He felt mortified and to take revenge painted himself committing suicide on the wall. When the master mechanic saw it, he felt remorse and thought the painter had killed himself in shame after touching the mechanical device. When those who are wise with regard to the meaning of reality do not enjoy or crave even those objects in cyclic existence which are normally enjoyable, how could they enjoy the source of birth, aging and so forth which normally cause aversion? Thus for them there is never any joy out of attachment to cyclic existence. It is like the following analogy: in the city of Kushinagar, Mahasiddhartha gave up 84,000 queens because he saw the faults of sense objects, and developed the 4 concentrations.
Thus, as has been explained previously, after considering the disadvantages of sense objects, one should become wise with regard to the meaning of reality and strive to attain unsurpassable enlightenment. The summarizing stanza: this is the 7th chapter from the 400 on the yogic deeds, showing the means to give up clinging to objects of enjoyment which humans desire. This concludes the commentary on the 7th chapter, showing the means to give up clinging to objects of enjoyment which humans desire, from Essence of Good Explanations, explanation of the 400 on the yogic deeds of bodhisattvas.
Commentary to Chapter 7 by Ge-shay Sonam Rinchen. The famous Gyel-tsap master Ge-shay Bodhisattva's precious heap of analogies for the Teachingu elaborates an analogy by Vasubandhu. When a fisherman is catching fish, he puts some meat on the end of the hook and throws it down into the depths of the water. Since fish have a great liking for fresh meat, they swallow the bait and the hook catches in their throats. Then they are brought on to dry land and killed. Taste is the fish's undoing. Similarly, our tongue pursues tastes and, caught on the hook of disturbing emotions, we are fried in the pan of bad rebirths. The moth sees the butterlamp as a celestial mansion and with delight at once flies toward it. Burnt by the flame, it falls into the melted butter. Appearance is the moth's undoing. Similarly, we see the suffering nature of deceptive appearances as pleasurable. Through our attachment we fall into the ocean of cyclic existence and are burnt by the fires of bad rebirths.
It is said that an elephant likes to be touched. It enjoys having its body gently scratched and remains perfectly still. An iron hook is then attached to the crown of its head, and it can be led wherever one wishes. Touch is the elephant's undoing. Similarly, we enjoy physical contact and are caught by the hook of suffering. A fly enjoys bad smells and circling around falls into the cesspool, only to be carried off by a large or small bird. Smell is the fly's undoing. Similarly, we circle around the smell of sensual pleasure, drown in a morass of disturbing emotions and are carried away by demons. Hunters in the south hide in remote forests and play the flute and vina. Deer love sweet sounds, so the hunters lie in wait till they come near to listen to the music. Then they shoot arrows and kill them. Sound is the deer's undoing. Similarly, we run after fame and are killed by the hunters of desire and anger. Vasubandhu says,
Normally we do not recognize just how much sense objects preoccupy us. Not only do we constantly and often automatically seek to satisfy the senses, but the aesthetic criteria of our society, or segment of society, and our own innate and acquired preferences, with regard to sense objects influence our response to others and our judgments.
This preoccupation with sense objects and our craving for new and stimulating sensory experiences is continually exploited and reinforced. The compulsive quality of our attention indicates the presence of attachment, which frequently robs us of expected pleasure and accounts for an underlying anxiety. The more intense the grasping, the greater the anxiety and the more vulnerable we are to frustration, which may express itself as anger. Despite repeated disappointments, we continue to pursue the elusive pleasure which these objects seem to promise. Though we may realize that the pursuit of sensual gratification is futile and gives rise to sickness, problems, and all kinds of misfortunes, we remain addicted to the hope of finding happiness in this way. Our enthrallment is not superficial but fundamental to us as beings of the desire realm, so called because of our preoccupation with sense stimuli. We must therefore reflect again and again on the true nature of sense objects and their inability to provide lasting happiness. This will help to diminish our obsession with them, which blinds us to the unsatisfactoriness and misery of cyclic existence.